let's take you back to Cape Town now, where reporter Lulama Matya is standing by. Lulama, good afternoon. We spoke to Bulelani earlier on. He was painting a picture from his vantage point. Perhaps you could tell us where you are, what's happening on your end. That countdown to SONA, of course, edging closer minute by minute.
Welcome back to Cape Town. We are here at the City Hall, which has been declared the parliamentary precinct for this period until after the budget speech by the Minister of Finance, Enoch Godongwana. But to talk the business of the day, I am joined by the Chief Whip of the Good Party, Mr. Brett Herron. Welcome to the SABC.
Thank you, Lulama.
Your expectations for SONA?
Well, usually the end of the term SONA would be an opportunity for the President to assess and account to the nation around what has been delivered against what was promised. I think the President may find that difficult to do at this SONA. So what I would really expect him to do is to address the root cause of many of our challenges, which is low economic growth.
It's his last SONA for the sixth administration. How would you rate his performance over the years?
I think the President has demonstrated a commitment to peacekeeping and peacemaking and to finding solutions through collaboration. But there are some, which is really a positive way of leading, but there are some downfalls to that, in that many processes take too long and there's over-consultation. And so at the end of the term, looking back, I think there's some disappointments, especially around the addressing the energy crisis, and all of the urgency that is often delivered in his speeches is not followed through in terms of the delivery of procuring power from independent power producers.
Mm-hmm. The Good Party, as you're saying, is seeing some positives out of him, but some of the opposition parties, especially the majority of them, they see nothing. Is it because maybe the Good is part of government that you would say there are some positives and negatives and not only negatives?
No, Good is not part of government. Patricia de Lille is a member of the provincial of the cabinet at the invitation of the President. We don't have a coalition agreement with the ANC, and we're not in government with the ANC as a party. And every Democratic cabinet has always had an opposition leader serve in it. So that's not why I'm acknowledging that the President has some positive attributes in his leadership style. But of course there are also many failings in terms of, as I indicated, the delivery that style has resulted in, which is very slow progress on very key issues, and key amongst them is energy and our economic growth.
What's the position of the Good Party on the new amended rules that are for the SONA, for the joint sitting of the House?
But last year we had a really violent event where the presidential podium was stormed by several members of the opposition, the EFF members of Parliament, resulting in the Presidential Guard having to storm onto stage. Proceedings were severely disrupted. And so I think it's appropriate that there are rules in place so that the President can deliver a State of the Nation address without a point of order. A point of order is when someone has done something wrong procedurally in the process. And there can be no real point of order when the President is delivering a State of the Nation address. You may not like what he says, but that's not a point of order.
Okay, talking about today's business, on the energy front, Eskom has challenges. Its balance sheet is low. Besides that, there's rolling blackouts. What would you want specifically the President to address on that?
The very slow pace of adding additional generation capacity. We've had several bid windows. We've had the risk mitigation IPP, which was meant to introduce 2,000 megawatts urgently. That was issued in March 2020, I think. The preferred bidders were announced in 2021. Now we're in 2024, and out of the 11 preferred bidders that were identified to add 2,000 megawatts to our generation capacity, only 5 are under construction, and that only amounts to 350 megawatts. So there's a very slow process between identifying new sources of energy and getting to closure where that energy is actually added to the grid. Something in the process is blocking progress, and I would urge the President to address that.
As the Good Party, if you were in his shoes this evening, what would you do?
I would announce, first of all, that Social Security is undergoing a massive overhaul, and that because of the large number of unemployed people trapped in poverty because of low economic growth that's not creating jobs. We are introducing a basic income grant that at least meets the lower bound poverty line of about 1,000 Rand per month for every adult between the age of 18 and 60 who's unable to find a job.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
That was the Chief Whip of the Good Party, Mr. Brett Herron, talking to us about the expectations of the party for SONA this evening. The Good Party is saying that there are some positives that the president has done, there are some negatives. It's not because their member, the party leader Patricia de Lille, is part of the cabinet of President Cyril Ramaphosa. He's saying that it's because of the work that he sees that the president has done.